Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us from Worcester South High School in Worcester. The Hawks on the road for week number 4. They're 3-0, and they travel to Worcester to take on the 1-1 Colonels of Worcester South. I'm Pete Conti. Joining me tonight, Brian Attaway. Typically, the public address announcer at Morgan Bowl. Since we're on the road this week, I wanted you to keep those throat muscles limber.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Looking forward to being up here this week. Being on the PA the last year has been great. When you offered me the opportunity to be here, couldn't pass it up. So looking forward to the game tonight and watching the Hawks march to victory.
The captains have gone onto the field. The Hawks have won the toss and have elected to receive. And now the Worcester South Air Force ROTC presents the colors for tonight's national anthem. So we're about set to go from Worcester South High School. Brand new field. This place looks nice.
Yeah, wonderful facility. They did a great job. Looks like they even got a soccer field over here and a practice field to the right of the main field. Yeah, I mean, they definitely took some nice notice to the facilities here, and it shows.
Yep. So the Hawks 3-0, averaging 40 points a game so far, and played a pretty stout defense as well. Only 6 points given up last week.
Yeah, they I think what you see is what you get with the Hawks. We talked about it earlier in our preseason show. They're deep across the board, something you don't usually get with a Division 6 and those lower division MIA teams. But really an abundance of riches across the board, skill positions, linemen, and they've been able to take advantage of it. I think that's why you've seen them, not give up a lot of points and then also put up a lot of points on the board on the offensive side.
Yeah, and there are also some players that you can fit in places that they're not accustomed to. They're just kind of seasoned.
Yeah, the plug-and-play mentality of this team right now is really impressive.
Trayson Muse deep for the Hawks. The up back gets it. Toby Eady going to follow Muse out across the 40. He's going to be driven out of bounds just ahead of the 44-yard line. Call it the 45, where the Hawks will take over 1st and 10 to open this drive.
Basketball, selling concessions above the stands if you're hungry.
Jake Attaway, the signal caller tonight for the Hawks, wearing number 6, and not his usual number 8. He's wearing number 6 with this week. We'll get into that a little bit more as we go along. Attaway's in the shotgun, 3 wides to the left. Throws quickly to Nanadowicz out of the backfield.
Yeah, I think the scouting report on South and their defensive side is they're always big and physical. They got 2 middle linebackers that really play downhill and aren't afraid to really initiate contact. I think that's going to be a real key for the Hawks tonight, is making sure you get them on the move, potentially tire them out, as I do know a lot of these guys right now on the south side are playing on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, linebacker. Got McPartland quickly off the ball and into the backfield. Now Attaway's going to follow Giorgio. Big block by Giorgio. And Attaway's on the move. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Hawks.
What a great play. You know, one of the go-to plays off of this offense is just that zone read that they like to put Jake out on. Let him play in space, and then have some of the best players in the mid-watch as your lead blockers.
Yep, 56 yards. And the Hawks, before you get settled in your seat, take a 6-0 lead. And Roy Gow, good on the extra point. 55 seconds, all it took, and the Hawks have the 7-0 lead.
You gotta like that start from Hudson. You know, we were talking about it before. South's gonna be down their starting quarterback. It's really important that we get that early lead.
There's that block by Giorgio. Giorgio just sealed the deal.
Yep. I mean, that's key. That's what you look for. Everybody has a key. Man up on everybody, and then, let your athlete do the work in the open field. I mean, that's as well as you could have drawn up for Coach Attaway and the team.
Well, if you could give an assist in football, Giorgio just earned himself one. Too deep for Worcester. Fielded at the 21 and nowhere to go. Ben Jackson is right there to make the stop on special teams.
South high ball at the 20-yard line.
Pete, you start to wonder if that kick from Roy Gow is something by design, where they kind of, get a little air under it, get it to the sideline, let the coverage happen, or if that's just a good miss, if you will, and you let the coverage get down there quick.
I mean, he's been a solid kid so far. We're in the week 4, and he's only missed maybe 1 or 2 extra points. His kickoffs are well inside the 20 typically on most nights. Real advantage. And flag quickly. We only supplied about half a roster here for the Worcester Colonels, so we don't know who is at quarterback. He's wearing number 0, but we were only supplied, it looks like, half the roster by Worcester South.
So it's like it's going to be an offsides call on the Hawks, and for the folks at home who maybe used to watching the NFL, this is a dead ball penalty in high school, so it's not a free play. Once you're in that neutral zone, they'll throw the flag.
Yeah, no chance to step back. They changed it, about 3 or 4 years ago. They changed that. There's no chance to step back and right yourself again. And run to the right side. Picked up close to a first down. We'll see if they're going to move it, and they do.
Yeah, with Ransford out, again, their starting quarterback.
First down, South high.
I think we're going to see a lot of direct snap, try to play between the tackles, have Worcester use their size to try to move the ball and keep possession. I really think that's going to be a big key for them.
Adry was, he's a big kid. He was over 225,
Yep.
I think, about 6'1", 225. He was tough to stop last year. They were one of the only teams that put a blemish on the Hawks' season, regular season's record last year. It gives us a 26-22 victory. Now a keeper by the quarterback. And he's wrapped up by Dom Shaves.
What a great addition to the defensive line Dom Shaves has been. Young kid, plays with his older brother Damian on the line. I mean, I think that's pretty special. But man, he's been a nice addition to this defense this year.
He gets to play right next to him too.
What more could you ask for?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to get these inexperienced quarterbacks and long down and distances.
Got Caputo and Andrade on the left. And the Shaves boys on the right-hand side up front defensively for the Hawks. And into the arms of Garrett Giorgio goes number 10, Peyton Mosley.
Yeah, they're looking to get something on the positive yardage side. It's going to be hard, with Nardowich and Giorgio in the middle. They tend to have a good knack for finding the ball. You could even argue, Giorgio and Owen have kind of been man amongst boys the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, even, this early in the season, they're still up in the top 5 in tackles in Central Mass, not just in Midwalk, in Central Mass as well, with all the teams combined. So, typically when the good players become seniors, the cream rises to the top.
Yep.
Third down. Roll to the right. Quarterback's going to keep. Gets past Giorgio. Picked up about 9.
Yeah, did a great job getting outside. Surveyed his options, didn't like it, tucked it and ran. And again, he's got some big linemen out there.
Yeah.
So
Ben Jackson on the stop. And that's, once he got into the second level, it's all on his own. And the offensive line did a good job getting around the edge and sealing that off for him. Gain of 9. It's going to be 4th down and 1. Line of scrimmage is the Worcester 42.
If I'm the coaches of the Hawks, I'm giving heads up on a hard snap count, try to draw them offsides, get a free first down. But Coach LaRose for South, he probably knows that he's up against it a little bit, so probably needs to go for this earlier in the game than he would like to.
Little bunch formation now, straight ahead. And with the keeper, QB squirts through, out across the 45 to the 46.
First down, South High.
Fresh set of downs for Worcester. Want to welcome you onto the live stream. Typically a 7 o'clock start tonight. We had an early start, 6 o'clock. It's pretty early out in Arizona for Will Jackson and a lock tackle for a loss. Ryan Yates as well in the Boston area. We know they tune in on a weekly basis to watch their brothers and cousins.
Dom
compete for
Shaves
the
again,
Hawks.
getting in the backfield. Really impressive right now on this first drive for that defensive line.
High in Dallas to Bo Costabile, my great nephew, watching tonight from the Dallas area. 2nd down and 11.
Shout out Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
Heard high school football is a kind of a big deal down there.
Oh, yeah. Out of the shotgun. It's Mosley. Going to go left side. Finds a little seam. Gets across the 50 into Hudson territory. Jackson and Yates with the stop.
Yeah, for the folks at home, don't think you're watching the game in replay. It's going to be a pretty smaller playbook for South tonight. They're going to do zone reads on the right, zone reads on the left. You're going to want to get that quarterback kind of outside and then in between his tackles. So, Hudson's just got to be able to man up right now and say, we're not going to give up any first downs.
Mosley's on the right. 3rd down and about 5 from the Hudson 46. Mosley again. Stop short. Just shy of the line to gain. And Dom Shaves and Garrett Giorgio share a tackle.
Be interesting to see what South does here.
Move that back. It's going to be 4th and 2.
They went to attempt that first pass and ran it. Be interested to see if they try to do some type of misdirection or get one of these receivers open.
2 to the right for Worcester. Quarterback rolls right. Gets around the corner. Flag came in late in the area of holding, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a holding call. It's going to go against the Colonels.
Holding offense.
You know, Coach LaRosa, South, kind of reminds me, pretty old school guy. If you notice, he's not wearing any headphones.
Yeah.
Relies on his assistants around him.
No headphones,
You
no
don't
play sheet.
When's the last time you saw that from a head coach on the high school level?
The hands are free to fly.
That's right.
And Worcester set to punt. And it's going to come to rest at the Hudson 25.
Hudson ball at the 25-yard line.
So Worcester able to take a little bit of time off the clock. The Hawks will take over at their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, I think for the first eight or so plays, that's exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to keep the clock moving, wanted to limit the amount that this Hudson offense is on the field. You saw on the first drive kind of why they wanted to do that, because they have the tendency to score pretty quick, or the ability to.
2 plays. The give to Trayson Muse around the left side. Got some room. First down and more out about the 38 or 39-yard line.
Good job by Trey. You know, the first few games of the year, he was carrying the ball on the left side and had the ball kind of by tendency on his right side of the body. I know Coach Attaway and the staff have been working on him to make it a little bit more natural, keep that ball on the outside, shield it from the defenders. Saw it right there. That looked real clean, tight to his body. Speaking of Dom Shaves earlier, Trayson, just another great pickup and being able to put him on the backfield.
First and 10 Hawks. Giorgio picks his way forward for about 9. Call it 8. Second down and 2. Donatowicz in motion. And Attaway goes that way, turns inside. Across the 50 down to the Worcester 46. And a flag flies. Could be a face mask.
Owen's been great all year out of his H-back role.
And it's a personal foul against Worcester. It's going to be a face mask. Going to add on 15.
Owen surprised me a little bit there. Usually he likes to turn and run and make contact. Looked like he was looking to try to get back to the middle of the field.
So the face mask penalty against South moves the Hawks up to the 31-yard line of the Colonels. First down and 10. Hawks' second drive of the game. Attaway straight back. Looks over the top down the left and overshoots Nolan Yates. Had the separation too.
Yeah, I like that call. Have him on the ropes, getting a few quick first downs. Probably at this point may feel a little comfortable. At 2 or 3 downs, you're going to get, you'll be able to move the stick. So I think it's a smart play call, trying to get it over the top.
It pulls your outside linebackers and your cornerbacks out a little bit from the middle of the field. Makes them wary of that. Edie to the left, Giorgio to the Edie to the right, Giorgio to the left of Attaway, and it's a false offside against the Colonels.
Side, South High.
So it's going to be first down and 5.
It's got to drive the coaches a little mad on the south side. That's free yards to a team who really doesn't need them.
Yeah, they're just plus the 15. And Giorgio spins, finds some extra room across the middle, carries for a first down inside the Worcester 20.
First down, Hudson Hawks.
Garrett does a great job not going down after initial contact. I mean, I know we're not keeping stats like the NFL does,
Right.
but I'd be willing to bet that he usually is continuously moving after that first contact. And speaking with my brother, Coach Attaway, a lot of times he says, if you're going to tackle Garrett, you're making a business decision because he's pretty hard to bring down right now. He's
Yeah.
playing at about 205 pounds.
And you got to go low.
Yeah.
He's not a guy you can tackle up top. Attaway rolls to the left. Looks underneath, complete. Johnny McPartland with the catch, gets out of bounds. Looks like about the 8-yard line. First and goal, Hawks. 1:41 left to go. First quarter, and the Hawks are on top, 7-0.
It's a good job by Attaway. I mean, those plays are designed to really slow play and let your wide receivers kind of move a little bit. So he waited just enough time and delivered a dart.
And McPartland. Not much going on there.
That's that little snap dart deluxe
Yeah.
that they like, and looks like South kind of had that
Like they were
schemed.
ready for it. Second down and goal. Moves the Hawks back to just shy of the 13. It'll be second down and goal. Attaway looks middle. Oh, beautiful pass at Savion Newton-Clark.
Touchdown.
They lost track of him in the end zone, and Savion Newton-Clark, all by himself, makes the catch for the touchdown.
Yeah, there was a lot of space there. Savion could have probably camped out overnight with as much room as he had in the corner of that end zone. I don't know if we'll get that up on replay, but looks like they bunched him on both sides. Did some crossing routes, which really allowed Savion to get lost in the mix.
Extra point is good.
So the extra point from Roy Gow is good. 59 seconds to go in the first quarter, and the Hawks are on top in this one, 14-0.
Yeah, here we go. So we went went twins on both sides. See McPartland and Yates crossing.
He had 3 guys on him at once, and nobody went with him, and he went in toward the corner all by himself for the touchdown.
And if you can get the defense in a man coverage like they just were, and you got all those guys crossing the field, you see it on the replay how easy it is for them to lose kind of communication and then let somebody sneak right out. So good play design, good concept.
Clark's 5th touchdown catch of the year. Long kick fielded inside the 10.
Great coverage.
Logan Dome slowed it all down, and Dom Sensky came in to clean it up.
Yep, Dome.
Live ball at the 15-yard line.
Dome in there. Mason Auger, who's had a great year on special teams thus far, even made an impact on the defensive side of ball. Dom Sensky, another young up-and-comer. Excited to see him develop over the next few years. Real athletic kid.
So South's going to take this one at their own 22. First down and 10. Out of the gun. Mosley out to about the 15. Stopped by Nate Andrade.
Yeah, Nate wasn't available the first few weeks. Had his first game action last week against Dover Sherburne. Coaches were really excited to get him back. Look at him, big body, hard to move. Senior, kind of playing with a bit of a chip on his shoulder, and you can kind of tell I'm excited to see him have some big moments this year.
Mosley sets left in the backfield. two wide receivers to the left. Mosley is going to lead the quarterback through. Maybe a gain of a yard as the first quarter comes to an end. We're through one. Here in Worcester, it's the Hawks 14 and the Worcester South Colonels nothing. Now look over some of Savion's stats. It's only 7 catches this year for 163 yards. He's averaging 25 yards a catch, but he's got 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's right behind Jake in total touchdowns.
Yep. You look at that, and you're playing your defensive coordinator. That just kind of spells out one thing. Probably a fast kid.
Yeah.
Can kind of get to the top of the defense and then make plays there. But that's what you want. You want somebody who can really open up the defense, or really open up or take the top off the defense, and allow other things to happen underneath.
Yep. And that's kind of the stuff to Yates and the stuff to McPartland underneath.
Yep.
Giorgio out of the backfield or Nanadowicz out of a slot. You're going to clear out some of that side. He's going to probably take 2 guys with him.
Well, I'm thinking on that particular drive alone, if I can think, Owen caught a ball, McPartland caught a ball, Savian caught a ball. The good thing about this offense is they're not very one-dimensional on the passing game. They have a bunch of guys that can haul it in.
Yeah. And if you're facing them as a defense, you just can't settle in on one thing.
Nope.
You have to be pretty diverse as well.
Yeah, that's going to be the issue for a lot of teams trying to game plan for the Hawks on the offensive side of the ball. You shut one person down, it's really just going to leave someone else there. So really have to get creative on how you're going to scheme them on the defensive side, especially with just a team that has as many athletes as Hudson does this year.
Yeah. Three wides for the Colonels. And it's all run. No gain on the play.
It's an interesting call, but again, I think, they're playing with the resources they have. That's 3rd and long inside their own 20. And they're doing a run up the middle. You're kind of curious if they're just trying to get some yards so they can punt, or if they're even trying to,
you probably don't want to. You probably don't want to put the ball in the air, but Nolan Yates is back for the Hawks. Edie's the up back, set up at the Worcester 40. It's going to take a bounce. Yates is just going to follow it down. It's going to be down inside the 40 at the Hudson 39. Jacob Griffith
Hudson ball
with
at the 38.
touch that one down, and the Hawks will take over here this first drive of the second quarter. Hawks have made Worcester punt twice. So the Hawks will take over at their own 44.
If you're
by 14.
If you're Worcester South, it's probably a key drive for you here to get a stop and try to force a turnover or a punt or something like that. Can't be going down 3 scores this early in the game.
Then you still have to answer back. Defensive line for the Colonels jumped early.
Credit the Hudson offensive line and just the players across the board.
Just
clearly there's, Jake uses a mixture of his cadence with his clap, and then he'll do a vocal one. Obviously they practice it a lot. Just, really important that they stay still and let the defense be the one who's going to get the infraction.
Clock's wide to the right. And Jake's going to pick his way through. It's going to be close to a first down. We'll see. It might be a little short. Second down and 1. Clark, Giorgio, Donatowicz wide to the right. Yates alone on the left. The give to Edie. And Edie's wrapped up by Ron Smith.
First down, Hudson Hawks.
First down carry for Edie. Fresh set of downs for the Hawks.
Toby Edie, another underclassman that stepped up in a big way. You see a team full of 20-something seniors, and you're probably a young kid saying, how am I going to get on the field? I think he's the epitome of hard work.
He's played his way on.
Athletic, that's right. It's great.
Attaway rolls right. Escapes one tackle. Flings it downfield. Donatowicz cuts it inside. Still on his feet. Into the 20. The 15. Brought down at the 12. Oh, 36-yard chunk play that time. Just a flick of the wrist. It looked like he was going to get caught by the second defender, and he found Donatowicz about 12 yards downfield, and Donatowicz did the rest.
Yeah, athletes are going to athlete. Both ways, though, on the throw and the catch. I mean, that run after catch was wildly impressive by Owen. But great job just, being elusive and extending the play.
Edie in motion. Big hole in the middle for Jake. Carries it down to the 2.
I love that play from the Hawks. They like to throw that bubble screen out to the running back, and right there, Jake took the direct snap, turned his shoulders like he was going to throw, got the linebackers and some people to move right, cleared things up for him. Good gain.
Timeout, Hudson Hawks.
Hawks take a timeout with 8:40 left to go in the second quarter. They're down on the 2-yard line and about to go up again.
Looks like we're going to pull up that play from Jake. If you see here, does a good job jab stepping. He can throw from a lot of different arm angles, which I think is probably a underappreciated part of his game. But Owen did a great job sitting down, making sure he made himself visible. And then look, Owen's a strong
almost like
kid.
a no-look pass. It looked like Jake was looking at the bench when he threw that pass.
Equally as impressive, that run after catch. Owen probably broke a few tackles there, and he extended that, so well done. Good job, too, by the guys downfield, not holding and no flags on that. First thing you do when you see a wild play like that, Pete, generally you're looking behind you to see if there's any flags. So they did a great job.
No flags on the play. And it's 1st and goal. Ball spotted at the 2. And touchdown, Hawks.
Touchdown, Hudson Hawks.
2 yards for Attaway, his second of the day.
That might have been the only second or third time this year you saw the Hawks go from under center.
Touchdown, Jake Attaway.
Yeah, he doesn't do that very much.
They do not.
Roy Gow sets up for the extra point. And it's up, and it is good. 8:33 left to go before the half. And the Hawks are up on top, 21-0. 3 drives, 3 scores.
Have to give a shout out to RG9, Roy Gow, my neighbor over on Manning Street, one of the nicest kids in the school. One of the better place kickers, too, that you're going to come across in high school football right now. So, he believes in his craft and he practices a lot, and it shows because, you had mentioned his percentage is pretty high on both, on the PATs, and then does a great job keeping it in play on the kickoffs as well.
Yeah. And he's someone, if you really need it, you can let him try one from 25, from the 25-yard line, from the 30-yard line. I've seen him.
Yeah.
I've seen him, and it's going even from 35 yards. It's going through the uprights pretty high. So he's got more in there too. Kick is away. Directional, and it's going to bounce out of bounds about the 7-yard line.
Yeah, on his 3 kickoffs, he's pushed it to the right a little bit. So again, still not 100% sure if that's by design or he's just pushing it, but he's kind of tried to coffin corner it a little bit on that second one. That one looked a little bit less intentional, but that's all right.
So Worcester's going to take this from their own 35.
Ball at the 35.
Forced to punt twice tonight by the Hawks defense. And a run inside. Nenadowicz and Giorgio meet the ball carrier. Gain of 3. Got Caden Burnham on the carry. Just looking at the size comparison, offensive line and defensive line, it looks like the Hawks have some size over the offensive line of South, which is unusual. Now Mosley turns it inside and wrapped up again by Nenadowicz and Giorgio.
Yeah, you'd love to have the size on the line. I think historically Hudson, if you look the past decade or two, usually you don't. They're not segmented in that of the bigger linemen, but yeah,
No.
they have a few boys up there that are really dedicated. Had a great offseason in the weight room. And it's showing. And then just natural genetics when you look at Andre and the Shaves boys, all over 6'1", even pushing 6'2". It's really impressive to see him up close.
3rd down and 5. And that play just took too long to develop, and Nenadowicz and Giorgio make the tackle for a loss. It'll bring up 4th down. It'll be 4th down and about 7.
Yeah, unless South can do something to mix up that look. They tried it on the first play. They did the zip motion, got the receiver moving across, hopefully getting some backers with their eyes lost in the backfield. But ultimately, they seem to have one or two main athletes that they're trying to promote and get to the ball.
And it's a low punt. Takes a Worcester bounce. Going to roll down to the 25-yard line. So the Hawks force Worcester to punt 3 drives consecutively. And they'll get the ball back at their own 24-yard line. 6:09 left to go before the half.
I expect Hudson to really play like this is a 0-0 game. Don't expect any let up.
Attaway goes downfield looking for Clark. What a catch at the 39-yard line.
What a catch from a safety.
Kid's electric, I'll tell you what. Every time he goes downfield, it's a highlight.
Yeah, he has an eye for the theatrics. That's pretty impressive. I think that's the 2nd or 3rd catch this year where he's probably been parallel to the ground.
38 yards and a 1st down for the Hawks. Fun to watch. And offside, Mosley. Jumped too early from the right side.
Great protection there from the offensive line. Another piece that Jake had talked about on our preseason show.
Here's that throw again to Clark. It looked like he was going to get overshot.
Yep,
and
it did.
He just
from
laid
where,
out. And,
from where we're at, it looked like that was gonna sail.
And a false start this time by the Hawks.
South says we'll give you 5.
Hudson Hawks.
Hudson says we'll give it to you right back.
Cam Yates got the jump that time. So we're back to 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the Colonel 37. 3 wide for Attaway. Gives it to Giorgio. Falls across the 35 to the 34. Little bunch set to the right for wide receivers. Now Nanadovich comes in motion on the near side. Attaway with some time. He's got the wide open on the right. Cuts it back on toward the middle. And tripped up at the 15. By number 15, Darley Julius. It was a touchdown-saving tackle for Julius. I think if he got by him, it was curtains for the Colonels. Be 1st down and 10 at the Worcester 13.
Yeah, Attaway didn't like what the defense was giving him there from a pass perspective. Again, one of the nice things to have a dual threat quarterback is to be able to tuck it and run and then make plays in space.
Clark goes wide to the right. Yates near side left. And Giorgio straight through the middle down to the 9. Looks like they're going to spot him right at the 10. It'll be 2nd down. Hawks can still get a 1st down at the 3-yard line. Hawks dressed all in white tonight with red numerals.
It's really sharp when they go all white. I'd love to see them roll out to the strong side of the field here. Here we go. There it is.
He's got Clark down in the end zone. Throw is short. And he adjusts and make the catch.
Touchdown.
Good awareness by Savion that time. That pass looked like it was going to hit the dirt. And he adjusted to it well. He laid forward to make the catch for the Hudson touchdown.
Yeah, all he's thinking in that time is get the ball, no funny stuff, secure it, go to the ground. So good job for him. I'd have to see again, but I think he may have, that route may have kind of put him kind of stopping in the end zone, and then once he saw Jake roll out a little bit, kind of gave him some width. That's what they teach those guys. As your quarterback rolls out, try to roll with him, right? Last thing you want to do as a quarterback or a receiver is stay put so your quarterback's throwing it across the field. Here we go.
Here's another look.
Great job from Savion.
And still, even in tight quarters, from the 10, still created 4 or 5 feet of separation over there in the corner.
It's hard to put into words how difficult of a catch that was. So kudos to him for being able to hang on to that. And then Jake putting it in a spot where only he could catch it too. That's another important thing.
Yep, the 6th touchdown reception for Savion Newton-Clark this season. And the 7th touchdown pass for Jake Attaway. And the special teams gangs tackle at the 15-yard line.
Great gain tackle by the Hawks special teams. There was a lot of red jerseys looking around behind them, while the majority of that kickoff team was making a tackle.
Like Mason Oja led the way down there.
Like I said, Mason Oj's had a great early start to the season on the special teams. And, you know, an underappreciated part of the game, I mean, we always talk about Bill Belichick, too. He was a big special teams guy. Special teams can be the spark plug if things aren't going well, or you need a little infusion of energy. So it's great to see this kickoff team, even up 28-0, still wanting to make a big play.
2:22 left to go before the half. First down and 10 for the Colonels from their 11-yard line. And the keeper turned right into the arms of Giorgio. Gain of 1 on the play, second down.
Yeah.
The 28-point first half. You know, the Hawks could be on their way to another 40-point game.
It looks like it. Right now, I think the Colonels are trying to keep the ball moving enough to get into halftime at 28-0.
Mosley stopped by Edie and Nanadowicz.
Be interested to see if Coach Attaway uses his timeouts, try to get the ball back. They've shown the ability to score pretty quick.
And he does.
Yep.
Timeout Hawks, 1:15 left to go before the half. Hawks have a rare Saturday night game next week.
Love that.
6 o'clock start Saturday night. It's going to run in conjunction with the Pumpkin Festival that'll be held in the outfield of the baseball field. Then I think that ends about 5 o'clock. So I think they're trying to get the community to head on over to Morgan Bowl after the Pumpkin Fest. You can't go wrong.
Shout out to the rec department and the Hudson Athletic Department for really working on that. I know Jess Winters reached out. It was kind of the liaison between the rec department and the football team. And, I was talking to Zach, and it was just a great opportunity to get the community at Galone Park or Riverside Park at the same time when a football game's starting. So
right.
You may attract a crowd that otherwise, may not be or realize that there's some high-quality football being played at Morgan Bowl. So really excited. They did a great job partnering and making that event happen.
It should be fun. I know.
Tell your friends.
I'm going to head in fairly early. I will be.
Well, there's a band that starts at 4:30, Pete, so that's probably, right up your alley.
Yep, right up my alley. I'll even try to get there before that. Third down. And 7. Oh, and flags come from every direction. And Nate Andrade with the infraction. It's going to be a face mask. You know you're in trouble when the play is almost over and you're still holding that in your hand.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Okay.
Face mask.
Like a hot potato.
You won't see it.
You can't drop that fast enough.
You won't see a lot of arguing from the Hudson side on that one. Unfortunately,
What?
that negates probably the strategy that Coach Attaway was using to potentially get the ball back, but that's football.
Yep, that's a tough one to explain away.
What had happened was I took off his helmet.
I think he spun it around first. So first set of downs for the Colonels with 55 seconds to go in the half. And Mosley greeted again by Garrett Giorgio.
Garrett does such a wonderful job widening himself out, getting in front of the runner, and just finding the ball. He was one-on-one right there. And generally in those situations, it's hard to make direct contact when you're in open field like that. Somehow, time and time again, he puts shoulder pad right on the chest plate of the guy running.
It's a quick transition from lateral movement to vertical movement.
It's very explosive. It's impressive to watch. He's been doing it since his freshman year.
And time is going to run out here in the first half. We're through the first half here in Worcester. It's the Hawks 28 and the Colonels nothing.
At the end of the first half.
And we're set for second half action. Pete Conte along with Brian Attaway. Jake Attaway, 2 touchdown runs, and Savion Newton-Clark, 2 touchdown receptions in that first half. And the Hawks lead 28-0. And a long kick by Gow. Fielded at the goal line.
Some extracurriculars. I know we're only talking about the start of the third quarter, but you have to make sure everyone plays a smart game from here on out. Things get chippy, walk away. It's very easy to get caught up in some of those things that otherwise are mostly frowned upon.
Yeah, it looks like both fouls have been assessed to Worcester South.
RG9 exercised his big leg right there. You had mentioned it earlier,
Yeah,
Pete.
that was
He has an
huge.
ability to put the ball in the end zone. And again, MIA states once the ball crosses the plane, you can't take it out. So immediate dead ball.
South High gets the ball at the 10-yard line to start the third quarter.
So Worcester will start the ball at their own 10-yard line following the 2 penalties on that play. And Mosley cuts it back into the middle, and he's going to be wrapped up by Nate Andrade. Short gain on the play.
South starting the second half much like they played most of the first. Inside the tackles, trying to use some of that size and get a few first downs and keep the clock moving.
Close to 100 viewers in that first half. Going into the second half, up 4 touchdowns. Not sure how many we're going to be able to hold on to in this second half. But thanks for joining us on the live stream tonight. And a low throw is incomplete.
Incomplete pass.
Good for South, recognizing probably got to mix it up a little bit.
Hi again, Bo Costabile in the Dallas area. My great-nephew watching tonight. And a couple of Hawk alums, Ryan Yates watching from the Boston area, and Will Jackson out at the University of Arizona.
2 dogs from the past.
Jackson, your mom says, open a book and study during timeouts. Now they'll run the left side out across the 20. Sam Jackson there on the tackle.
First down, South High.
Carries good for a South first down.
They're not going to lay down. It's one thing you get with Worcester South, with Bob LaRose's team. Always tough. Never just going to mail it in.
And Mosley runs into a brick wall named Gary Giorgio.
Another great job by G. I'll call him G from time to time.
Straight up tackle, too.
Great form tackling. If you're a defensive nut, you love watching him play football. It is done the right way.
Wides to the left this time. And Mosley wrapped up quickly by Damian Shaves.
Yes. South keeps trying this zone blocking. Up front, Hudson's just a little too quick.
Yeah.
You got to put a body on him early.
Either that or there's just not enough people for South at the point of attack.
Yeah.
Shaves only had one guy to beat, and
he's long.
It was it.
Yeah, Damian looks great on the edge. He's leaned out over the last few years. A great athlete. On the offensive side, too, he's got great hands, but has made a huge impact on the defensive side of the ball.
Out of the shotgun now, 3rd and 14. Oh, Toby Edie steps up to make the catch. The tackle, the catch.
Well, he was receiving the runner.
Yeah,
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
I know what you meant.
Thanks for bailing me out.
Yeah. I've had the pleasure of watching Toby since he was in youth football. From a very early age, he was another one you could tell had great natural instincts. His dad is a police officer, former captain of Hudson High, big football family. It's great. I get so fired up seeing 20 out there making plays.
So Worcester forced to punt. And the kick is away. Yates. The ball's bouncing around, and South jumped on it. Yates, tough time with the catch on that punt. Looked like Ronald Smith, number 52, jumped on the loose ball.
Sorry about that, 39-yard line.
Tough spot for Yates. Looked like he wanted to field it cleanly. May have looked forward a little bit too early. Lost track of it.
So the fumbled punt, the only turnover of the game so far, and it's committed by the Hawks. And Worcester will take over at their own 39. Quarterback keeper. And Nate Andrade again with the first touch. He didn't let go. Short gain on the play, less than a yard. We'll bring up 2nd down.
D-line is stubborn tonight. They are tough to move right now. 68 Brady Krogan just checked in as well. Talking to Coach Attaway, he's loved having 7 or 8 guys just on the D-line, being able to rotate them in and out. A lot of fresh legs coming in.
Yeah, it keeps you fresh. Swing pass to the outside. And with some room, number 15, Darley Julius, be forced out of bounds by Edie. Jackson over there as well.
Yeah, the secondary going to give them space. That's an easy throw for a quarterback to make. You got pass catchers and athletes on the outside. What they love is being able to turn and see an open field. So we'll see if they go back to that.
When you talk about staying fresh, I mean, last couple of weeks we've been at points in games where the clock just winds down. The fourth quarters have been, kind of meaningless. Empty backfield now for Worcester. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Mosley in motion. And Nenadowicz one-handed that time.
Strong kid.
Spun down the ball carrier, brings up 4th down.
Great job by Owen getting downhill.
So we'll see what Worcester's going to do here. They're running out of options here with the 5:25 left to go in the third, and they're down 4 touchdowns. So I'm assuming that they're not going to be kicking this ball away. Not here at this point in the field. Ball spotted at their own 48.
I would second that, Pete. We're 7 minutes into the third quarter. Hudson hasn't had the ball yet. Whether or not it's a realistic expectation they can come back, we'll see. But both coaches are going to treat it like this. This game is absolutely not over.
Yeah.
Beautiful night for a football game.
It is. The bugs are gone. It's late September. The bugs are gone.
They got this beautiful press box here at South High. Pete and I perched up high.
Brand new facility, close to the field.
It's like we're at the front of the Titanic, isn't it?
Very nice. Cam and Jared over there, keeping us up and running.
Absolutely. Shout out to the HUD-TV production. I was a graduate of 2003, P, and back then there was a gentleman, Scott Darlington, who ran HUD-TV. Great person, great educator.
Yep.
But to see what it's become over the past 20 years is wildly, wildly impressive.
I know it, right? Yep, spent many a Friday night with Scott Darlington in the early 2000s.
Fourth and short.
Who? Watch the direct snap. No, it's not a direct snap. And maybe the fall forward.
I think he got it.
Going to bring him out to the 49. Looks like the officials might have gave him an extra second or two when progress was stopped as well. So first down and 10 for Worcester. First set of downs at their own 49. Yeah, this is a nice facility. Beautiful press box area. It's bigger than normal. A lot of times you see when schools put these new fields down, they spend so much money on the field that there's not much money left for the press box, so it becomes a real small place. But this is a pretty luxurious spot up here.
More of a shoebox than a press box.
Yeah.
This is excellent.
And the keeper for a short gain, less than a yard.
So we've seen this already now on this entire drive. First down run. I think twice in a row on second down we've seen a quick pass. Let's see if they go back to a pass now and see if they can, maybe somehow steal 7 or 8 yards on a pass.
That was Dom Shaves with the tackle that time.
Visually being here, just not a lot of urgency right now from South High.
Still out of the shotgun. Man in motion. Ball's on the ground. And Damian Shaves goes in. Kind of spikes the ball a little bit. Looks like he might get himself
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
a little bit of... Oh, it's unsportsmanlike against Worcester. I thought they were going to give him something on the spike of the ball, but It's going the other way against the Colonels.
I think it was the quarterback who spiked it. I think he got up, slammed it right in front of the ref, threw the flag. It's an easy one. You want your kids to be composed, but let's call it like we've seen it, Pete.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty rough night for the Colonels' offense.
Tough night.
Now you just got to have a teaching moment with the young kid.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
say we understand, but you gotta compose yourself and don't let your emotions get the best of you.
The only drive for the Colonels so far tonight that didn't result in a punt was when the clock expired at the end of the half.
And again, South without their QB1, Ransford Audrey, whose last few years has probably been one of the top 5 quarterbacks in Central Mass. You can see the type of impact he has on them with their ability to move the ball. He can also sling it too. So they really haven't had that in their arsenal tonight.
Injured last week against Grafton. And he's in trouble again. Dom Shaves over there to make the tackle. Brady Krogan there as well. Forward progress was stopped. Brings up 4th and a bunch. Worcester.
I think South had every intention to keep playing 4 downs until something like that happens.
Yeah, ball spotted at their own 20. Their line to gain is the Hudson 41. So they're going to kick this one away. Kicked forward. Picked up by Yates.
Not sure what happened there. I think a member of the Hawks return team probably had their back turned towards it, didn't realize where the ball was, and then kicked it back to Nolan.
So Yates corrals it in and just gets down on top of the ball. It's going to be 43-yard line.
Yeah, good job from Nolan there, just getting control of the ball, securing it, and let's have Hudson have an offensive possession. It's probably been about 35, 40 minutes since Hudson's played offense, so let's see how they come out.
2 to the left, 2 to the right for Attaway. The give is to Muse, cuts it up inside, and picks up about 7.
South has a lot of guys playing both ways right now. That was a pretty long opening drive. Be interested to see how much resistance they can put, at least on the front 7.
Jason Echevarria now in the game for Worcester. Attaway. Out to the right side, near sideline for Savion Newton-Clark, complete. Taken out of bounds at the South 40.
Take what the defense gives you. Defensive backs weren't playing very close. Good route by Savion. Easy pitch and catch there. They're running this bunch formation again, which we saw earlier on that touchdown. Would love to see them do something similar.
Attaway looks left this time, in and out of the hands of Yates. Incomplete.
Essentially same thing to the left side of the field.
It looked like Nolan had plans on turning that back inside, but he'd have to secure the ball first.
I think receivers will know before the ball gets there how much space they're going to work with when they catch it. Nolan had quite a bit of room, and you're right, probably got a little excited.
Yates and McPartland left. Nenadowicz and Clark are right.
The clock's running for... Oh, you know why? That was interesting. The clock was just running on a incomplete pass. I don't think they've reached the score threshold. Through three quarters, it's 42 points for the MIA, so that shouldn't have been a running clock. Wonder if the coaches picked up on that.
Yeah, false start on the Hawks. Damian Voss with the early jump. And Muse shakes the first group of tacklers, gets it across the 40 to the south 39.
A lot of arm tackling from the South High Colonels there. Reflection of, a little bit of fatigue probably kicking in at this point. They had Trace on in the backfield pretty well, and he got loose.
Yeah, once he shook that first way, he was probably stopped for no gain or maybe even a short loss because they had yards to make up from the false start. And that's the end of the third quarter. We're through 3 here in Worcester. It's the Hawks 28 and the Colonels nothing.
If you blink, you miss that quarter.
No kidding. So put 12 more minutes on the clock. That's
At the end of the third quarter,
what we'll have left to play tonight. The Hawks with the 4-touchdown lead. The Hawks are at home next week against the Maynard Tigers, who have been a tough out the last couple of years for the Hawks. They actually beat the Hawks in double overtime last year.
Maynard and Hudson, I would say, we always talk about Marlboro being a big rival, Clinton being a big rival. Over the years, you could put Maynard right in that category. Maynard is a well-coached team. Nick Palicki is actually a friend of mine and Zach's. We communicate pretty regularly. He's really, high on Jake. Dylan Gallo, who's the quarterback for Maynard, excellent. Probably one of the better play callers in the area.
Gallo's fun to watch.
So if you like quarterbacks and the ball being tossed around a bit, definitely make your way to Morgan Bowl next Saturday.
6 o'clock is the kickoff next Saturday, just following the Pumpkin Festival to be held on the campus as well. Should be a fun night. A throw to the near sideline to McPartland falls incomplete.
Yeah, Attaway was getting pressured there. Couldn't really set. Was throwing off balance and let that sail. Fourth and long, inside the Colonel 40. Fully expect them to go for it here.
Fourth down and 9. Clock is going to go to the right.
Number 6.
Donatowicz in motion. And Attaway just escapes, really getting railed pretty hard, but the Hawks will turn it over on downs on the fourth down play. Jake Attaway wearing number 6 tonight. Typically wears number 8, but he's donned number 6 for tonight in tribute to one of his friends.
Teammate and captain Logan Luge. Unfortunate injury last week in the Dover-Sherburne game. Came up with a lower body injury. He's going to be out the rest of the season. A lot of times events like that can kind of have a ripple effect. And as a coach and a coaching staff, you say, is that going to hurt us? Or can we galvanize ourselves around that and really, use that as motivation really for Logan and make sure that they're competing at a high level. So, yeah, Jake, asked Logan if he could wear number 6. He gave him the okay, and he wanted to do that for his friend. They've been playing together for 10 years, so special moment and a great kid.
And a tackle just inside the 50.
Tough run there by the quarterback.
Yeah, Nate Andrade kind of did the catch and release. He had him corralled. He spun him around, but he didn't bring him to the turf.
Yeah, he realized immediately. Should have continued the tackle and brought him to the ground. I'm going to guess the majority of people who get thrown around by Nate Andrade tend to go to the ground.
Yeah.
So he looked a little surprised that the quarterback was still up.
So the Hawks turn over on downs. First time this evening that they've had to turn the ball over. South out of the shotgun. Little bubble screen on the near side. Complete to Darley Julius. Escorted to the sidelines by 4 Hawk defenders. Down to 10 minutes to go in this one. Hawks lead 28-0. Third and short. And a 2-yard gain, first down, South.
First down, South High.
And the South player slow to get up. Looks like a cramp. Get a lot of that early in the year.
Yep. It's not uncommon. Zach and I were exchanging text, or Coach Adler and I were exchanging text a few weeks ago. Interesting article we recently read about how you majority see, or you'll see cramps mostly on the first game of the season. And a lot of people think, it's a conditioning thing, but there's a lot of neurological pieces behind it, because through training camp and preseason, very rarely are you playing at 100%. So when your mind realizes it, or your body or neurologically realizes you're playing full speed for an extended period of time, that's when your muscles will cramp up. It's actually really fascinating. He sent it to me after the Notre Dame-Texas A&M game earlier in the season. Texas A&M plays in College Station, which is a hot place. You would think that they would be well accustomed to the heat. It was the Texas A&M players that were cramping, and Notre Dame was actually essentially okay the entire game.
Do you think you can battle that by the pace of practice?
Absolutely, but now just the way the game's designed and how practices are designed, you don't really have a ton of opportunity to go full tilt. You know, it really happens on Friday nights in between the sidelines. So
and the practice time is a lot more instruction than anything.
Exactly.
And Mosley, ball's loose. I don't think anybody saw it. It was Nick Christie jumped on the loose ball for the Colonels. He's now in at quarterback.
But you noticed it less from Hudson. This is their 4th game. Was it Shrewsbury and Clinton? You saw a few guys cramping up. But naturally, you tend to see that go away. Number one, it's less humid.
Yeah.
But you are conditioning your body to play at this pace.
Al Christie in the shotgun. Mosley out of the backfield. Takes it to the Hudson 36.
Great run from Peyton Mosley.
To be 3rd down and 4.
Probably a bit frustrating for the Hawk defense. A team like this, you want to create long downs and distances, get them uncomfortable. Last few drives, 2nd and 3rd down, they've been able to, get some positive yards,
downhill,
put them in spots to get first downs and keep the drive moving, keep the drive going.
And there
it is.
Stay behind. Noah Jones is wrapped up quickly.
That was Toby Eady again.
We'll lose a couple on that. It's going to be 4th and 7.
Toby did a great job shooting the gap, kind of running parallel to the line, met the running back, and was able to get him for a loss of yards.
Did that on the previous play, too, when Mosley went to the left side. He came across, and Mosley had just gotten out of the backfield, or he would have stopped him for about a 6-yard loss otherwise.
A lot of those things you can't teach. You watch how naturally he moves back there, and, yeah, a lot of it's instinctual. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Noah Jones now in the backfield.
Timeout.
South, 7:12 left to go in the fourth quarter. Hawks on top, 28-0.
Only a few away games scheduled, at least, for Hudson this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's the last couple of years have been crazy with the majority of road games or a majority of home games. This year they enjoy the majority of the home games. There's some sort of realignment that's going to take place after this season has concluded, and there's going to be more parity of where home games and away games kind of fit in with each other.
League games will never change. As long as you're in the league, it's home and away. That's pretty natural. When you have to schedule some of these non-league games, there are a lot of conversations that take place in agreement to getting the matchups as, home, away, or, some teams you're only playing for 2 years, and then you got to go find a new opponent, and then they agree to play a home game, and you're like, great, because the opponent we just replaced you with, we played at home as well. So, yeah, I mean, take what the schedule will give you, but agreed, I wouldn't be surprised to see some more normalizing of equality of home and away games.
The roll to the right. Now running for his life. Throws the ball going down. Tackle made by Nenadowicz. And that'll be a turnover on downs.
Sack. First and turnover on downs.
Owen Nenadowicz, great job in his pursuit. Probably deserved a sack there, but good effort by the South quarterback to.
And if it was on an earlier down, you probably would have seen the intentional grounding, or
probably.
If the score wasn't as lopsided as it is.
Actually, no, he was outside the pocket, Pete. He probably wouldn't have.
Yeah, you're right. So the Hawks will take over at their own 42.
Be interesting to see what the Hawks' game plan is here. You want to keep the guys loose. You want to get some plays. Want to play smart.
Cooper Sturrs wide to the right. And they give to McPartlin. And can't get through the traffic that had already arrived in the backfield. He's going to be stopped for a loss. Going to move the ball back to the 40-yard line. It's going to be a loss of about 2. Two to the left, 2 to the right. Logan Dome in now at quarterback for the Hawks. And it gives to Treson Muse. Takes it out to the 45.
Dome's been able to get some time under center this year.
Yeah, quality. And, touchdown last week and some valuable varsity snaps as well. Ball's loose. Zone picks it up and going to be spun down at the line of scrimmage. Ronald Smith with the tackle, along with Darley Julius.
I feel like it's been hard for the Hawks to get in any type of offensive rhythm this second half. Probably would have liked to see a little bit more ball movement.
Attaway into punt.
He might just be waiting for the go-ahead from the official. You see the back judge with his hand up. That signifies 10 seconds.
Short kick by Attaway. Takes a Colonel's bounce.
Enormous 11-yard punt from Jake Attaway.
At the 47-yard line.
Dom Sensky. He's going to down that one after the South bounce. South will take over at their own 47.
You know, it's one thing when people say you kick the ball a mile, but if it's just a mile straight up, doesn't go very far. Real quick, Pete, too, I my sources are telling me that next week, Pumpkin Fest is the legacy name. It's now Wreck Fest. So Wreck Fest will be taking place next week, and excited. So we were corrected via text message.
Can I still call it Pumpkin Fest?
I think you can.
Tackle for a loss that time by Ben Jackson. Wreckfest. What's the difference? There a difference?
That's above my pay grade to say what the difference
Pumpkin
is. You know, they used to do the pumpkin carving. They
Yeah.
don't do that anymore.
Oh.
But I'm going to assume that it's the recreation department that owns the event, and really wants to, it's a good opportunity for them to be front and center in the community. Steve
Now
Santos does a wonderful job with that.
Now there's always been the local vendors set up.
Yeah,
tables
it'll be
and
much of the
booths
same. Yep, you'll see a lot of local vendors. You'll see a lot of the first responders, whether it's the police or the firefighters. It's great. Little kids. I have 3 boys. They go bananas for that stuff.
And if Steve Burney is there with the Hudson Hives booth, his honey is top notch. The reverse. Down to the Hudson 45.
Also being told that tickets for the Saturday game will be available at Wreckfest from 2 to 4. So if you don't have your tickets yet, you can get them in advance. Maynard travels heavily too. I do want to call that out. So expect longer lines at the press box, at the ticket box prior to the start of the game.
So we got 3rd down and 4. Little wrinkle on the reverse for South. The first time we've seen that play tonight, run by South High.
Yeah, a little reverse on the chain wax. I like that. Maybe a little too little too late.
Now Christie throws underneath. Almost a little tip drill opportunity for Blake Freitas. Incomplete. Brings up 4th down and 4.
Quick reminder to call your rides if you need to ride alone. Call them now. Game's almost over.
It's a nice PA address. If you need a ride, call them.
Yeah. If you need a ride, don't call me.
I didn't bring my Uber light, so
Right.
I can't be dropping anyone off. Cam smile. Maybe he's a Lyft driver on the side. I don't know.
You're going to have to prove your age.
Surcharging.
I don't think Cam's got much room left. He's had a truckload of equipment when he showed up here. The wide reach, little bubble screen. Goes down to the 40. It's going to be a first down.
Getting a good look at the future of the Hawks right now on the defensive side of the ball. See Dom Sensky out there.
First down, South High.
33 Jackson Wood. But Pete, before the game ends, I do want to thank you again for the opportunity to join you. This has been a lot of fun.
Oh, it's fun. I try to tell people how much fun this is.
And I got to tell the parking lot attendants that I'm with the Hudson broadcast crew, so they let me go right through.
There you go. Little bubble screen again, this time to the left. Chased down by Mason Bastien.
First down, South High.
Another first down So they've strung a few first downs together here in the fourth quarter. It's too bad we're inside of a minute to go. But thanks to Cam and Jared over there for keeping us up and running all night long. It's been a blast having you.
Appreciate that. I think the next away game is at North Middlesex.
North Middlesex. There's a great Chinese restaurant up there.
Pete, you're speaking my language, so it sounds like we're going to meet a little early. Fortune cookies will say Hudson win.
We're going to have to leave work a little bit early for that one. Throw downfield in the end zone over the head of everybody. 2 Hawk defenders there as we come down to 9 seconds. It stops the clock.
Yeah, the old saying, you go nowhere and take a left, and basically that's how you get to North Middlesex.
That's how you get to Oakmont.
Oh, Oakmont too.
Go to the middle of nowhere, take a left, and go another 7 miles. That'll get you to Oakmont. That's a long ride home.
It is.
Not as long as, say, Narragansett used to be.
Templeton, Massachusetts. Yeah. We used to go to Murdoch, which is out in Winchendon. Yeah.
Scott Darlington and I would have a great story about Murdoch.
I think Cam's going to shut us off before we get to hear that one.
There's an old dirt road that goes into that stadium. A wounded duck downfield, broken up at the goal line. And that's going to run our clock right down to 0. That's going to do it here from Worcester. 2 running touchdowns by Jake Attaway. One from 56 on the first drive of the game. And another one from 2 yards out. And a couple great catches by Savion Newton-Clark. And that's been the difference tonight. Hey, Worcester's kept the Hawks to their lowest output offensively so far this season. They've had 3 games in the 40s, 40 or better. But Worcester has held the Hawks to 28 tonight, which is not an easy thing to do. But again, Brian Attaway, thank you again.
Thank you so much, Pete.
Hope we can do this again as the season wears on. And the final score again tonight from Worcester South, the Hawks 28. And the Worcester South Colonels 0. And we will see you next Saturday night as the Hawks start league play against the Maynard Tigers. Kickoff for that game is 6 o'clock. And thanks again to Jared and Cam. Good night.